I work as a DoorDash driver. I think I just dropped off a dead body. After I received a notification for a delivery that was going to pay $150, I thought I was about to have the night of my life. I immediately accepted it, but I never could have guessed this would have led to my life being ruined forever. I first expected this to be some out-of-state delivery to some wealthy man buying something from a rich restaurant. After reading the address, I realized that this place was in the middle of nowhere, but it was still worth the $150. I pressed the GPS button to bring up the map, and it took me to a restaurant named Danny's that I'd never heard of. I wish I had done some research before going there. Maybe it could have saved my life. The sun was setting early, and I had my lights on by the time I made it to a less populated corner of town where the restaurant was apparently located. Dinner brings the best tips, but I hate driving at night since it's harder to find restaurants without a boldly emblazoned logo lit up in neon. That, and I've always harbored some lurking fear of a delivery-turned-mugging, or worse, some gang-initiated killing. Rare as it is, it has happened. You have arrived at your destination. The soothing voice of the GPS alerted me. I slowed to a stop, confused. I was on a dark residential street, no sign of a restaurant in sight. Where Danny's was supposed to be was a dark gap in between two homes. I checked it again, even typing the restaurant name into maps outside of the delivery app, but nothing popped up. I realized then it might have been a glitch. In retrospect, $150 for a 30-minute delivery sounded too good to be true. I sighed and began searching the app for the troubleshooting menu when a loud slap on my passenger side window caused me to jump in my skin. A man stood outside my car, his hand pressed against the pane. I rolled down the window with only a crack, just enough to hear him. "You the delivery driver?" he asked, and my mouth went dry. I didn't want to say yes because the vision of a pistol pulled and a muzzle flash kept playing in my mind, but he seemed harmless enough. Older too, mid-50s, receding hairline, thin frame, not quite the gang initiation type. I was fairly certain everyone knew that delivery drivers nowadays don't carry cash. "Yeah, I'm looking for Danny's restaurant. Is it near here?" The man just looked at me with a hollow stare before raising his other hand. The fear of an impending bullet to the brain immediately dissipated when I saw a large plastic bag. I sighed out in relief and lowered the window, accepting the delivery. I needed to use both hands to accept it. I placed the surprisingly heavy meal on the passenger seat, staring at it for a moment before looking up again. "Thank you." My words tapered off as I realized the man was already a few yards back. I watched him disappear into the shadow-filled gap between houses. I have no idea where he was going or where he had come from. Despite the questions that kept tugging at my resolve, $150 for this awkward delivery was the overpowering factor. I then continued the delivery. The GPS once again popped up, and I stared at the large green areas encompassing the pinpoint. My insides squirmed a bit at the revelation. The delivery address seemed to be dead in the middle of the woods. I shifted into drive and followed the directions onto the highway. The sun had fully set, but the tunes from the radio had kept me in good spirits. Few people were on the road, so I was having a great time and could call it an early night after this gig. The miles counted down, from 15 to 10 to 5. The off-ramp came into view, and the large pine trees on either side of the highway continued to darken the path as I merged onto smaller roads. With every mile further into the wilderness, my uneasiness grew. More than a few times my eyes darted over to the suspicious double-bagged delivery on my seat. My heart raced as my mind played tricks on me in the shrouding darkness of the tall trees on either side. I did a double take when I thought I